The personal name Duncan can be found in Scotland's oldest records in its Gaelic form Dunchad, Donchadh, Donachie, Donchadh and other spelling variants. Origins. Duncan, originally a forename, is one of the earliest names in Scotland, surnames being introduced by the Normans around 1120 AD, and originates from the Dalriadan Celtic Scoti from Ireland, who colonised the southwest of Scotland from about the 4th century AD. Dunchad co-ruled Dalriada with Conall II. Other early accounts of the name include the 9 feet inscribed 4th century AD Turpilian stone located at Crickhowell, Wales. A particularly early mention of the name Duncan, inscribed in Offham on the stone, also carried the Latin translation Turpilianiciatipuueritriluenidunocati, which roughly translates as the fort warrior. Mention is also made of Dunchad, the 11th abbot of Iona, 707–717 AD, and Dunchad, the 39th abbot, in 989 AD. Records from this time are scant, and it is not until after the unification by Kenneth MacAlpin around 843 AD of the Celtic Scots of Dalriada and the Aboriginal Picts of northern Britain that we start to see the name significantly being used in other parts of Scotland. One of the earliest references to Donchad is found in the margins of the 11th century Book of Deer, the oldest writings in Scots Gaelic known in Scotland today. These manuscripts were written by the early Christian monks of the Abbey of Deer in Aberdeenshire, when Duncan I took the Scottish throne. Unlike the King Duncan of Shakespeare's Macbeth, the historical Duncan appears to have been a young man. He followed his grandfather Malcolm II as king after the latter's death on the 25th of November 1034, without apparent opposition. He may have been Malcolm's acknowledged successor at Anna's, as the succession appears to have been uneventful. Duncan would have been wise to pacify his remaining family, especially his senior cousin Thorfinn the Mighty, Earl of Orkney, his uncle, Macbeth, and the person closest to his throne, Queen Grook, Macbeth's wife. By 1040, however, Duncan had been murdered and the crown was in the hands of Macbeth. 54 years later, despite being the son of Malcolm Cantmore, Duncan II was also dead at the hands of his relatives. Although Duncan had left a son, the throne was seized by his younger half-brother, one of the children of English Queen Margaret. The deed of homage drafted by Edward John Duncan was the owner of property in Berwick in all likelihood, according to one account, a clan Donachie. The clan name is said to come from Donachad Rimhast. Legend has it that this chief led the clan into battle at Bannockburn in 30. Both the Duncans and the Robertsons descend from the 4th Donachie, the predominant Duncans of the East. Their extensive property included in 1764, George III's physician, by 1795, Adam Duncan. With a glorious career of victories, he was created first Viscount. 1831. The title became extinct in 4th Earl of Camperdown in Boston, Massachusetts. Castles. Lundy Castle once stood 7 miles. The lands were held by the Duncans and many of them. The castle was demolished and replaced by a house in the Camperdown House was built by the Duncans in the 90s. As of